Good morning, Milan Elementary, and welcome back to school. It could be good afternoon or good evening, depending upon when you're watching our back to school meeting video. I am very excited about this upcoming school year and just can't wait to get started. Attached to the back to school flipped meeting email will be the PowerPoint presentation, this video, agendas, any documents that you may need to complete for the beginning of the school year. So look for all of those as you go down through this email and its attachments. Some of the things that we'll talk about in our back to school meeting obviously will be our Leader in Me and what amazing a training that we had and kind of how we're going to progress through that and present that and keep that going for ourselves and for our students. We will also talk about how PBS PLC kind of still plays a role in, even though we're a Leader in Me school, we will still function by the PBS and PLC ways as well. This Leader in Me is just going to help bring out, I think, the best in us and in our students as we go on through that. Also, grade level meeting agendas will still go out every Monday, if not Friday, for you guys to prepare and have things together on a Tuesday to be prepared for the early out Wednesday PD as well. Also, SMART goals, different things like that will all still be the same. Deadlines for when you need to meet at least one SMART goal for the now MMD grant versus the CW grant will also be the same. As far as the MMD grant, which we'll talk a little bit more about at our back to school meetings, those requirements are also the same. Nothing's changed as far as any additional documents or things that you will have to put together to meet that grant. Early out Wednesdays, we will have 4 at 2 o'clock. It is a requirement that all students leave the building. The only supervision that we would provide would be, for example, like 7th and 8th grade students that have practice and they won't get off the bus and back in time. Same thing for us if we were to still have some group meetings and we students, like for example, student council, you want to still meet on a Wednesday, or our different clubs, we could provide some supervision for them during that time so they wouldn't have to go home and come back. But that's some stuff that we'll talk about also later in our back to school meeting. But for the most part, every student will be expected to leave the building at 2 o'clock. So please help me reiterate that to the parents. We will have a plan for those early out Wednesdays, which we'll also talk about. There'll be kind of a theme for each Wednesday, so we'll kind of get into routine and know what to expect for those early out Wednesdays and how to be prepared for those. Also, during training, we'll talk a lot about dyslexia, watch the dyslexia videos together as a whole staff. That is required by the state that we train you, and NE has put out some great videos, and we're going to watch those and utilize those, and also talk about any additional screeners that your grade level may have, and the additional screeners that Title will help with as well. NE, there are 3 new NE indicators. I think one is a district one, then we have the 2 other building initiatives. We may have indicators that may be different than the high school. In the past, the 3 indicators have been the same across the entire district, and this year we have chose to go with some indicators that really focus on what we're doing here in the elementary and then what the high school is doing up there. For example, one of our NE indicators has to do with data notebooks, and we do a really wonderful job of that down here, and I have some ideas of how we can address that through NE as well. Also this year required is a PD plan. We used to do them in the past. I have a template for that. Also on the PD plan, I think it would be amazing if we added our mission statements to those. It just helps reedify that work with Leader in Me, and it just goes all together with that process. Also, SLOs, just like we've done in the past, will be the same. Go ahead and give those benchmarks exams the first week. Start putting those together, setting those specific skill SMART goals, and writing those out. There's a template for the Comm Arts, the math, the science, and social studies, so we'll use that exact same template. Also, I kind of mentioned already about the mission statements, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, and I can share kind of how I went through developing mine. If you've already kind of developed one for yourself during the Leader in Me training, that's wonderful, and we'll just go ahead and put those down in writing because I think that's a wonderful place to start. Last and foremost is our elementary improvement plan. With our MAP scores coming in so late, I still think it is very important to put out an improvement plan. We live by this. We have met 8 of the 11 goals from last year. The last 3 that we're waiting on obviously are our MAP scores to come in, but I think we go ahead and we put that out and we tweak that as they come in. If I find that those MAP scores that I've put in there are a prediction, that if they need to be changed, then we do that. Then we do that later. If you have any questions for me before we meet on the 15th, go ahead and email me and let me know. Otherwise, bring all your questions with you to the meeting that you have from this video and from the PowerPoint and going through the handbooks. If there's any questions you have, we'll talk about it at that time. Otherwise, please enjoy the rest of your summer and we'll see you back here. Thank you.